Link TV, connecting you to the world. Link TV is viewer supported. Watch more at linktv.org.
Link TV presents Mosaic World News from the Middle East. Here are today's top stories.
After a 9-month deadlock, Iraq has new government. Lebanon fears violence as it awaits Hariri tribunal verdict. And education brings hope to Kurdistan's Romani children. Mosaic World News from the Middle East begins now.
The Iraqi parliament has approved the new government formed by Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki 9 months after parliamentary elections were held.
No other government has taken as much time to be formed. 9 months have passed since elections were held and resulted in a myriad of political controversies over the formation of the government. But it all ended today. The parliament voted for the formation of the new government submitted by Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. So a new chapter opens in the political scene of this country, and Nouri al-Maliki is leading it for the second time. His coming phase holds the aspirations of a people that have been waiting for their accomplishment for 7 years. They hope for an improved security situation, a better economy, and strengthening of the democratic foundation of the country. The Iraqi bloc, which was Maliki's rival party, participated in the formation of the government and gave it its blessing. But the bloc did not miss the opportunity to remind people that the stability of the country does not only lie in the hands of the unity government, but also in the commitment to agreements that are the basis for success in the future.
This matter does not only require participation in this government, but requires the implementation of the promises made by the political blocs to truly participate in all fields, including making important and fateful decisions. This will lead to the just spread of the collaborative spirit between all parties and will reflect the opinion of our Iraqi people, who put their trust in those who represent them.
Maliki did not conceal the difficulty he faced in forming the government. He attributed this difficulty to the election law that needs to be amended to put issues on the right path. He added that the government was formed under exceptional circumstances, which could explain why the new government is devoid of technocrats, as all those who have been chosen as ministers are leaders in political parties.
This government does not meet the ambitions of the citizens or the political blocs, nor does it meet my ambitions or those of anyone else, because it was formed and assembled under exceptional circumstances. However, I'm not saying I'm pessimistic. It has men, energy, strong individuals, and most important of all, is that it has determination.
Maliki did not give all the names of all those who will be appointed to ministerial positions, saying that he needs more time to study the candidates' files. He also expressed his hope that a larger number of women would take over leadership of the ministries. On a temporary basis, he appointed himself to lead the security ministries. So finally, the page on forming the government has been turned. But the success of its future may still depend on an upcoming achievement, the formation of the National Council for Strategic Policies, which the Iraqi bloc hopes will be a real partner in the country's administration.
قتل 3 أشخاص وأصيب نحو 39 آخرين جراء انفجار قنبلة في حافلة.
3 people were killed and nearly 39 others were injured when a bomb exploded on a bus in the heart of the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. Security sources said the bus was headed to the Ugandan capital Kampala, clarifying that 3 individuals attempted to board the bus and detonated a package when a security guard asked them to open their bags. The Kenyan police chief indicated that an armed Somali group is suspected to be behind the blast.
قال قائد عمليات حفظ السلام الدولية في ساحل العاج ألان لغوا.
The head of UN peacekeeping operations in Ivory Coast, Alain Leroy, said UN forces deployed across the country could face a dangerous confrontation with the forces of outgoing President Laurent Gbagbo. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council warned Gbagbo of its ability to bring to trial anyone responsible for attacks on civilians or peacekeeping soldiers.
أو جنود حفظ السلام.
دخلت الأزمة السياسية في ساحل العاج منعطفا خطيرا بعد أن أعلنت
The crisis in the Ivory Coast entered a critical phase after the United Nations announced its forces deployed in the country could face a confrontation with the forces of outgoing President Laurent Gbagbo. The UN confirmed its forces are ready to defend themselves and their mandate to protect civilians. In clear defiance of the request made by Gbagbo's government to withdraw international forces from the country, the UN Security Council renewed the mission of its forces for 6 additional months in the Ivory Coast.
جدد ولستة أشهر مهمة قواته في ساحل العاج كما قام
In addition, the Security Council voted to reinforce its civilian and military presence to nearly 10,000 and warned Gbagbo it will bring to trial all those responsible for attacks on civilians and peacekeeping soldiers.
محاكمة أي فرد قد يكون مسؤولا عن شن هجمات تستهدف المدنيين أو جنود حفظ السلام أمام المحاكمة.
The head of UN operations in the Ivory Coast condemned the increase of what he referred to as hostile acts committed by Gbagbo supporters against international forces and diplomatic delegations.
ضد القوات الدولية وأعضاء السلك الدبلوماسي.
Beginning December 18th, Gbagbo has sent armed men to the homes of UN personnel to demand their departure and entered the security headquarters under the pretext of searching for weapons.
تلك الأعمال التي تصفها الأمم المتحدة بالعدائية لم تقتصر على عناصر القوات الدولية.
The acts described by the United Nations as hostile were not only directed against international forces, but dozens of supporters of President-elect Ouattara were also targeted. They confirmed that they were directly fired at and that some of them were injected with poisonous material during a demonstration against President Gbagbo's rule in front of a UN base in the capital of Abidjan.
إذن ساحل العاج باتت تعيش وضعا مقلقا مع تزايد حدة المخاوف من اندلاع مواجهات جديدة في الشارع.
The Ivory Coast is now facing a worrisome situation as fears over the outbreak of new confrontations on the street increase. Such confrontations are nothing new in a country that has endured many political crises in the last decade. However, what is new is the international role that has crystallised this time, further increasing the tension in the country.
Egyptian President Mohamed Hosni Mubarak and his Libyan counterpart Muammar Gaddafi have arrived in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum. The two leaders are expected to hold a joint summit with Sudanese President Omar Hassan al-Bashir and his Vice President and head of the Southern Sudanese government, Salva Kiir. The summit aims to provide Arab support to the Sudanese ruling partners, the National Congress, and the People's Liberation Movement. Also, it aims to help them reach a compromise over post-referendum issues pertaining to the implementation of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. Both sides expressed different positions on issues pertaining to the January 9th referendum on self-determination for the south and the region of IBA. Joining us via phone is Ibrahim Al-Shalbi, our correspondent in Khartoum, where a three-way summit between leaders of Egypt, Libya, and Sudan has taken place. Ibrahim, what is expected from this visit by Presidents Mubarak and Muammar Gaddafi to Khartoum?
The purpose of the visit is to give Arabs a chance to review Sudanese affairs ahead of the referendum, as confirmed by a government official. The official further said that the Sudanese government had promised to hold a free and fair referendum. He added that each leader has its own idea of bringing about change in the Sudan. Sudan's Arab and African neighbors are concerned about what happens in Sudan because their security and interests depend on it. However, the Sudanese government official denied reports that the visit comes in response to U.S. pressure. He added that the Obama administration has its own diplomatic channels with Sudan and that it doesn't need messengers to convey its communications.
In response to the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ali Khamenei's statement that the International Tribunal's indictments in the case of Rafiq al-Hariri's assassination will not have any effect, the Lebanese Prime Minister Saad al-Hariri said that this was only Tehran's opinion. He said that Lebanon had its own opinion and will say whatever it will.
This position is the Iranian position. We in Lebanon have our own official positions. God willing, everyone is attempting to stabilize the region. We reiterate again, we highly respect the Supreme Leader, and we also respect anyone with an opinion, and he is free to speak his mind.
Tension is increasing in Lebanon as the wait continues for the International Special Tribunal for Lebanon's decision on the assassination of former Prime Minister Rafiq al-Hariri and the possibility it will direct accusations at Hezbollah. Some are worried that the result of the investigation will bring back violence. BBC correspondent Ward Davies reports from the Lebanese capital.
The weapons market is bustling now in Lebanon as concerns rise about the result of the investigation into the assassination of former Prime Minister Rafiq al-Hariri and the possibility it will direct accusations at elements of Hezbollah. Hossein, a weapons trader in Lebanon, said requests to buy firearms seem to be increasing.
I mean, all segments of the population are expecting war. It can break out at any moment now.
Lebanon has been in a tense situation since Hariri and 20 other people were assassinated on February 14, 2005 by a car bomb in central Beirut. Various parties in Lebanon accused Syria at the time, but the criminals have never been officially caught or identified. The Lebanese people have been holding their breath since July, when the Secretary General of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, announced that the indictment that is expected to be issued by the International Special Tribunal for Lebanon will accuse elements of Hezbollah.
Lebanon has witnessed a number of assassinations since 1976. They were purely political assassinations. Since then, assassinating people who politically support others has become a common practice. This needs to stop. I believe that it will continue to happen if the tribunal cannot determine who is behind Hariri's assassination.
لكن أنصار حزب الله ومن بينهم أبو قاسم يصفون المحكمة الدولية الخاصة بلبنان بأنها مسيسة.
But supporters of Hezbollah, including Abu Qasim, described the International Special Tribunal for Lebanon as politicized. Hezbollah reconstructed the homes of Abu Qasim and thousands of others after they were destroyed in the war with Israel 4 years ago. Hezbollah is also contributing to many projects in the southern suburbs of Beirut and gaining popularity there. The situation may change if Hezbollah is accused. 2 years ago, a wave of violence broke out in the streets of Beirut between supporters of Hariri and those of Hezbollah. About 100 people were killed in the clashes, which put the country on the verge of a new civil war.
More foreign casualties in Afghanistan. Another U.S.-led foreign trooper has been killed in the south. NATO says a soldier was killed in a roadside bomb. The coalition, as its usual policy, did not reveal the nationality of the soldier or the exact location of the incident. The death brings to 702 the number of U.S.-led foreign forces killed in Afghanistan so far this year. American troops account for over half of the deaths. Now, 2010 has been the deadliest year for foreign forces since the U.S.-led Afghan war began 9 years ago. Violence is at an all-time high, this despite an American troop surge in the war-torn country earlier this year. Well, earlier, our correspondent in Kabul, Fayez Khorshid, gave us some insight into the situation.
Now, the question is, why has the death toll of the foreign troops jumped? Given the facts on the ground, I can tell you because of three main reasons. Number one, President Obama's troop surge decision. Number two, the expansion of the U.S.-led military operations in the south. And number three, lack of tangible action against the militant sanctuaries on that side of the border. Earlier this year, President Obama has decided to send 30,000 more troops. He believed that with this troop surge, he would be able to turn the tide of growing unrest in Afghanistan, but the Afghan government as well as the Afghan people advised President Obama not to do so, because this country is said to be the graveyard of the empires, and no one can bring peace in most parts of Afghanistan through weapons. And President Hamid Karzai called on the United States of America to support his government for peace talks with the Taliban militants. But the president of this country still believes that he does not have the all-out support of the U.S. and his allies for his latest initiative to bring the Taliban militants into the negotiating table.
Some rocket exploded near a kindergarten in a kibbutz south of Ashkelon this morning, just as dozens of parents were bringing their children to school. Overnight, Israeli jets carried out airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. IBA's Eli Wagalanter has more.
A 14-year-old girl was lightly injured by shrapnel and glass fragments in this morning's rocket attack that just missed hitting a kindergarten in kibbutz Zikim south of Ashkelon. Several people suffered from shock as dozens of parents were bringing their children to school. The Qassam exploded at around 8 o'clock, just seconds after the code red siren was sounded. Some of the children were already in the kindergarten, itself a bomb shelter, though not fully fortified, when the rocket exploded nearby. This morning's attack is the latest in a series of escalating violence aimed at Israel from the Gaza Strip. According to the IDF, 13 projectiles fired from Gaza have landed in Israel since Sunday. In an effort to deter more attacks, IDF jets bombed 7 targets in the Strip overnight. 2 Palestinian fighters were reported wounded in the most extensive raid carried out by the Air Force since Operation Cast Lead 2 years ago. 3 Hamas-operated tunnels were targeted in the northern Gaza Strip, while in the south, a smuggling tunnel, a weapons manufacturing facility, and a terror headquarters were targeted. An IDF statement said the Hamas-operated tunnels are intended for infiltrating into Israel and carrying out terror attacks against IDF soldiers and Israeli civilians. Although Islamic Jihad and the Palestinian Resistance Committee have been behind the majority of the recent rocket attacks and attempts to hit army patrols, IDF officials believe that these strikes are being carried out under orders from Hamas. Since Operation Cast Lead, the number of rocket attacks has dropped considerably, but the Army says more than 200 rockets or shells have been fired this year. Eli Wagalanter, IBA News.
And our reporter adds that IDF Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Gabi Ashkenazi, told the Knesset Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee that the situation in the Gaza Strip is very fragile and increased activity from terrorist operatives over the past few days, as well as increased activity from the IDF. Prime Minister Netanyahu has issued a statement saying he continues to personally oversee ongoing and unceasing efforts to bring Gilad Shalit home safe and sound. The Prime Minister's statement came in response to yesterday's blistering criticism from Noam Shalit, the father of the kidnapped IDF soldier. The normally reticent Shalit accused the government of lacking the courage and integrity needed to free Gilad. Netanyahu's statement reminded Shalit that the Prime Minister's efforts produced the first videotape released by Hamas showing Gilad Shalit alive and well. In addition, Netanyahu said he agreed to the prisoner exchange deal proposed by German and Egyptian mediators. The Prime Minister said it was Hamas which did not respond to that proposal. At the same time, Netanyahu stressed that there are red lines he will not cross. He said, for the sake of the nation's security, terrorists with blood on their hands will not be allowed to return to the West Bank.
Israeli occupation forces detained 12 Palestinians during a campaign of raids and searches of West Bank cities. 3 of the detainees were from Kafr Khalil village in southern Nablus, and 2 of them were from Shafa Amr in the Palestinian territories occupied in 1948. The occupation forces also demolished 2 villages, Beit Omar and At-Tahiriyya, and set up checkpoints on the roads leading to them. In Hebron city, the occupation intensified its military measures and set up checkpoints at a number of entrances to the city. They searched Palestinians, checked the contents of their vehicles, detained them, and barred them from getting to work. In besieged Gaza, a Palestinian worker received medium-level injuries when the occupation forces opened fire on him, as he was collecting the remnants of construction materials from a demolished house in northern Beit Lahya. Meanwhile, Palestinian resistance factions announced they shelled several occupation sites with Hound rockets near two locations, Kerma Abu Salim and Burej refugee camp near the border of the Gaza Strip. The resistance confirmed that the shelling came in response to the occupation's crimes against the Palestinian people, including the latest assassination of 5 Palestinians. The resistance stressed that it would not stand by and do nothing in the face of the occupation's policies.
New settlement projects are being planned and carried out, and more plans will be revealed as the U.S. mediation does nothing but idly chatter to gain time.
الملف الأكثر سخونة في الصراع العربي الإسرائيلي بعد أن تعرض للكثير من المؤامرات. مؤامرات تستهدف تغيير معالم.
Settlement became the most heated issue in the Arab-Israeli conflict after many conspiracies were revealed. These conspiracies aimed to change the basis of the conflict, to turn an issue of rights and land into an issue of stopping settlement construction or not. From there, it became a demand to freeze settlement construction. Then the Americans changed it again to a call for just a temporary freeze. This way, the settlement issue remains in between, perhaps, and maybe, in U.S. offers that generously benefit Israelis and completely ignore the rights of Palestinians. This confirms more than ever the U.S.'s participation in a conspiracy to cover up the truth with continuous messages conveyed by its dove of peace, George Mitchell, who travels back and forth between Washington and the occupied territories. During each of his visits, the Zionist entity approves a proposal or the execution of a new settlement project. It seems clear that the U.S. administration is partnering with the Zionist entity to neglect legitimate international resolutions. George Mitchell's latest offer pushed for negotiations on the essential issues, including a call to decide the future of the Israeli settlements, ignoring the fact that their future was previously decided by an international law at the beginning of the conflict when these settlements were declared illegal. What brings more light to the truth is the continuation of settlement construction on the ground following this offer. The occupation's bulldozers demolished 5 shopping centers in the village of Baqa, east of Hebron City in the West Bank. There is also a plan to change the infrastructure in the industrial area of Wadi al-Jozi as part of a series of settlement projects scheduled to be carried out on the outskirts of the old town. These facts bring down the excuse that Americans are not capable or able to make the Zionist entity accept the lowest level of cooperation to solve the issues and proves the conspiracy against the Palestinian cause.
All across Iraq, the Romani people endure what can be described, at the very least, as bad conditions, lacking even the most basic humanitarian needs. For this reason, an individual initiative emerged in the city of Sumaria with the support of the Ministry of Education in Kurdistan to open a school that focuses on the reintegration of this segment of the population into society through education.
According to officials in Iraq's central and southern provinces, local authorities expelled the Romani people because they considered the community to be negatively affecting the morals and customs of the society. However, it seems the reality of the Romani's life in Kurdistan focuses on their reintegration into society through education. A retired educator was able to convert a modest tent into a school to teach Romani children in Suleimania after the Ministry of Education approved the plan with the goal of re-educating this segment of the population, numbered at over 300,000 people.
I got the idea when I saw the panhandling that takes place on the streets, and when I saw acts carried out by the Romanis that are deemed unacceptable to society. So I got the idea to ask the Ministry of Education to open a school to teach them and also offer vocational courses, and they approved.
المهنية من خلال مدارس المهنية اللي عندنا. فورأسا وافقوا ونفس المناهج مع المدرسة.
We offer the same classes as any elementary school: math, Kurdish, English, sports, and Islamic education.
ونشيد والتربية الإسلامية.
Romani students expressed hope that this school will lead to a change in their daily lives and the lives of Romani people by expanding their work and educational opportunities in the future.
لقد كنت أعمل في السابق في بيع العلكة في الشارع.
I used to sell chewing gum on the street, but today I am a student. I don't know what the future holds for me, but I know that I don't want to sell gum.
I used to dye shoes in the market and would work long hours, but today I study and learn. I feel like other kids, the ones I used to see on my way to work.
The Suleimania Ministry of Education confirmed that it seeks to provide Romanis with an education through this school. The state they are in is similar to that of other segments of the city's population, and the ministry attributes its failure to approve the Romanis' request to attend public schools to their families' frequent moves from one region to another.
Not having permanent housing in Suleimania and other regions leads to a lack of commitment to our normal schools.
It seems that the opening of a school specifically to teach the Romani children for the first time in cities across Kurdistan and Iraq in general indicates that there is at least partial recognition of their rights. It coincides with local authorities in South and Central Iraq expelling them from cities, such as from the city of Karbala, and preventing them from entering and exiting some regions, such as the Iraqi province of Diwania.
The views expressed on Mosaic are from contributing broadcasters, not Link TV or its sponsors. The production of Mosaic is made possible by grants from the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, the Firedoll Foundation, and by support of viewers like you. Thank you. Watch Mosaic World News online. Stay up to date with breaking news, read our blog, get transcripts of past shows and more at linktv.org/mosaic.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs which connect you to the world.